Welcome to Talk Safety to Me, a podcast from the North Dakota Safety Council, where we discuss safety at home, in the workplace, and in our communities. Recorded at the Radio Access Studio in Bismarck, North Dakota, you can find Talk Safety to Me on 102.5 FM or online at radioaccess.org or ndsc.org.
Hello, everybody. I'm Chuck Claremont, the North Dakota Safety Council's Executive Director, and more relevant to you, the host of Talk Safety to Me, the North Dakota Safety Council podcast. We have our Senior Marketing and Communications Manager, Tia Streeter. She's joining us today. She's going to be producing. She's a lovely lady in the red. And then today we're joined by Cameron Fleck. He's the President and CEO of NewVision Security. We're excited to be back podcasting after several month hiatus. I was blaming it all on my knee, but I know there's some more than that. There's a lot going on at the Safety Council, which is pretty cool. But we know how important these podcasts are, especially when we can get a chance to talk to somebody like Cameron. We're excited to have Cameron here. He's in a growing business in a unique sector that a lot of time really runs parallel to the Safety Council. And when we look at safety and security, so thanks for joining us, Cameron. And I thought it would make sense to maybe mention right off the bat how we got to know each other. And a little bit of that, I met Cameron through Vistage. It's a peer advisory group, a bunch of CEOs and executive leaders. And, you know, it's a cool place, this confidential setting, I think, where, you know, leaders get a chance to get together and talk about ideas and pressure test and challenge assumptions, things like that. So I feel like the beauty of it is it's not a sales group, but what happens so much is you build these friendships, which I think we have, you know, Cam, and this trust. And then really at the end of the day, the people and organizations you do business with tend to be those people that you trust. And so it's kind of how Cam and I connected. The North Dakota Safety Council, we were looking to upgrade our security systems. And Cameron was looking at his NewVision team to strengthen his safety side and their safety program. So it really became a win-win. And also between the two of us, I think what we found out, Cam, is beyond work, we've got a lot of similar values and family and faith and friendships, and maybe a common hobby or two in golf, of which this year we got to get out and golf. So appreciate you, Cameron, coming on today.
Yeah, thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Tia, for having me and the entire Safety Council. You guys have done a lot here for NewVision and our entire team here, and so just really appreciate that. But yeah, I got to know Chuck a little bit through Vistage, as he said, a great peer-to-peer networking group that we're a part of to just learn and grow our business and our people. But furthermore, just having a beer with Chuck, getting to know Chuck a little bit more on the golf course as a person and as a human, and his passion for the Safety Council and everything he does for his people there. It's been really fun to kind of get to know him a little bit more and see. I really believe in leaning into any association that you're a part of, whether you're going to college, go make it everything you can make it, or whether you're going to an association. I want to meet the executive director. I want to see what they're all about. And I want to see kind of what plans they have for other companies. And so I really appreciate you kind of taking me under your wing there and really giving us a better safety culture here all across the board at NewVision. So thanks for having me today.
Yeah. So before we get started, I guess the first piece is the people who don't know your story, Cameron, kind of take us back to the beginning. You didn't just join NewVision, you started it. And kind of what led you to launch the company? What problems maybe were you trying to solve at the time? And how'd you get into it?
Right. Yeah. Again, great question. Thanks for asking. About 12 years ago, I oftentimes like to say I grew up on a farm. I was a farm boy and flasher. But when I was in high school, I went to a private school here in Bismarck. And I grew up with a lot of entrepreneurial kids and entrepreneurial parents. And I honestly thought it was going to mean more vacations and a bigger house, but it's really ended up being a lot less lunch breaks for me. I do love what I do, but it's challenging in all of its own ways. And it really just sparked a passion with electronics. When I was in high school, I installed some cameras for a local casino and really sparked a passion for what this industry can do and what it can provide. And there's a need, whether it's a home security system all the way up through the state capitol, Air Force bases, data centers, Safety Council buildings, and everything in between. So with that being said, I really latched onto it. We've grown a lot through acquisitions as well. And so it's really just a great industry. I love it. I'm passionate about it. And I serve on a few advisory boards around the country speaking and helping the Security Association thrive and grow across the entire country. So it's a great industry.
You said it kind of like was your interest, right? When you were young, you were in high school. What about it? Like, what would be interesting to you about it? I think that's kind of a key.
Mm-hmm. I think right away it was being in the business world and having an electronics degree was kind of, you don't know your way as you're younger. But now I can confidently say, just as our mission states, we get calls all the time on how we saved a life. We help the police crack the case. And that's really why we do what we do every single day. It's not very fun most days. It's pretty boring. Security systems are set them and forget them. Hopefully you never use them. But in the rare chance you do, every now and then I get a phone call that says, hey, we evacuated a facility. And it's a good thing we did because the fire department was there and they said there was CO in the building. So honestly, being able to play a part in making our communities a safer place to work and grow and play is really why we do what we do every day. And it really makes it fun waking up doing it that way. So,
yeah, the cool thing about your organization is you're now the largest privately held security company of its kind in North Dakota, and you have to be super proud of that. What along the way were some of those key decisions or turning points maybe that fueled that growth and got you to be that number one? And not that you even were thinking of that when you first got into it, but to be at that point right now, you have to be very proud of it. What were some of the things along the way that got you there?
Right. And a lot of the things along the way to get us to be the largest privately held is growing through both organically and through acquisition, of course. But having 4 locations across the state to be able to meet the demands of the banks, the government facilities, and the people that need the security services across the state. It is extremely exciting, and people that work here are excited to know that we're fast growing, but it also gives its whole unique set of challenges as well. Getting our cultures to bleed together and making everything work as we've grown a lot through acquisition as well. Yeah, back to your question. Chuck, do you just want to restate that one more time?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, just what were some of the turning points? What happened along the way? And you kind of answered it. You said some organic growth, and were there any specific things, other business partnerships you maybe got into, other people you met that helped grow your business?
Mm-hmm. So major turning points for me is when we've decided to do security and security only. A lot of companies, and my competitors included, they try to do everything, whether it's AV systems, it's IT systems, all these different things you can do in a building, electrical work. It's limitless. We've really went all in on being a great security provider and doing just that. And that was really a big turning point because it's made our systems all the way through, from the installation to the service to the products we sell. We've just standardized, and it really makes it easy to go to market, whether we're selling to a residential home or whether we're selling to a state capital government facility. So just honing in on what we do well and making it repeatable and easy to give the clients what they're looking for on the back end, it really moved the needle quite a bit. And also when we acquired a fire alarm company, that really helped as well. Moving into the fire alarm, security isn't a need. Fire alarm is required most of the time in buildings. So that's opened up a lot of doors to get in on the ground level and then also talk about security services. So there's been a few turning points that I can think of for sure, but based off of a few of those acquisitions that really helped move the needle and becoming hyper focused at what we do each day has really helped us really win some large opportunities that we never thought were possible.
It's interesting. What other challenges have you had? Because like you said, 12 years, like that's some rapid growth to become, the largest in the state.
I would say the biggest challenge is I often tell the story of McDonald's. How do the fries taste the same in Bismarck as they do Atlanta? And really, at more of a local level, if you look at Shields, they do a really, really good job of making sure you have a consistent experience no matter what. So we're trying things like, hey, if you see an Amazon package at someone's house, pick it up and deliver it in through the door for them. Or ring the doorbell, put your booties on before you go walking through someone's home or business. All those little things that we do as we've grown through acquisition, to answer your question, it's really hard to get everybody to bleed that same thought process. And so getting that consistency through all four of our locations, and as we expand to more locations, has been a huge challenge. But we're making great strides, becoming focused on it, and becoming better and better as we go.
Yeah. Another question that we touched on it kind of in the introduction is mission alignment, safety, security, right? They're very similar. And that's one thing we have in common is that we're very mission driven, even though we're nonprofit, you're a private and for-profit organization, but we're very mission driven. And the North Dakota Safety Council's is preventing injuries and saving lives, and yours is protecting life and property. And how does that mission show up in your work and your team and what they do every day?
It really means everything at this point, as I alluded to earlier. It's really why I love what I do, and everybody around here seems to share some stories on why they love what they do. It's when you get that call of potentially saving a life or helping the police department crack a case.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, it's most of the time it's boring, and we like boring in the security industry. But every now and then you get that call or that text message or that email that says, "Man, am I sure glad we had this system in place? Because if we didn't, worse things could have or might have happened." So it really, every single day, it means everything in what we do to be able to protect life and property in the communities that we serve here in North Dakota.
Yeah, and when we talk about mission similarities, we've also had the privilege to partner with you in terms of maybe exchanging what we do. And we need an upgrade in our security system here at the council, and you came in and helped us and used your expertise to make our building more secure. As a matter of fact, just finally we've turned on the alarms. We've over the weekend, we've tested it for longer than we probably should have, and now we're ready. And when I was gone on vacation last week, they turned on the system this week, and I think Tia was the first one to actually maybe trip the alarm. I had to go downstairs and turn it off. And so she got that piece. But ultimately, it's been, I think, a big part for our organization that our people that are working here during the day or in the evenings or the weekends, we're more safe now because of the security system we have. Yeah. Ultimately, that we've got from you. And the alternative, or the other side, was your organization, where you've invested and been more intentional in safety training for your people. And what's impacted have you seen since you've maybe become a more safer organization with your people in your organization?
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that. There, I will say too, the best security systems, as you're working through those alarm systems, they're just working quietly in the background. You guys have some panic buttons around the facility and cameras if you'd ever need them, and access control to lock down certain doors so people can't go into certain areas. It's a great thing that helps keep you guys safe every single day. I always do get a chuckle because we know in our industry that 90% of false alarms are due to people not disarming their alarm system the proper way. So I like push people, because I always say, if I'm the guy securing your building, I want your alarm system armed. I don't want the safety council to get broken into and I'm your security guy and it's not working necessarily. So I do think it's really important to just get in the habit and training of the staff to get them to get used to that alarm system. And there's certain ways we do things in the background with key card access to have that kind of working for you at night. So it's armed without kind of being in the background, just like it is today for you guys. So I'm glad you guys are working through that. It's not uncommon. I'd say get comfortable. That just means it's tested and working sometimes when the cleaner trips that alarm, or Tia or Chuck or whoever it might be. So glad to hear that that's all working well for you guys and you have better visibility of your guys' facility there. Back to the safety and what we've done. I'll be very honest and say, when you're a rapid growth company, those first few years, it's very difficult to keep safety front of mind until maybe something might happen or what have you. And in many cases, I would say we didn't do that right away. And now looking back, hindsight's 2020, I think we got very lucky in many cases. I could give some examples of different things and lift scenarios we've had where garage doors have opened, where we can't go on like this and just keep getting lucky, so to speak. We need to get ahead of it. Whether it's car accidents, too many fender benders, whatever it is, I got a lot of guys out there. And when they come to me and say they got in a car accident, the first thing on my mind is not, is the vehicle okay? It's definitely, are they okay? And so as this stuff happens, it's been very nice for us to know that, our employees now participate in daily safety meetings. They truly feel safer at home. They truly feel safer at work. We've even made strategic hiring decisions off putting safety into our office, making it a clear point to be the decision, a main decision on a lot of the things that we do, a point man, so to speak, to run our safety, and also firing decisions on people that might not be the most safe to work around. We've had to make some of those decisions, and it's really made it an overall safer working environment for everybody. And we've gotten feedback from the staff all the way through, from the service tech out there fixing the system, that, and all the way up to the owner, me, we all sleep better at night knowing that they're safer and returning home, and we're doing daily check-ins with them. There's all the things that have come from it is really been extremely nice. I want to point out too, I worked at Basin Electric, a power provider, and I know that's a great big partner of your guys's, and they beat it into my head at a young age. And I'm super happy that they did, because even when I'm hanging my Christmas lights at home or whatever it might be, I'm definitely keeping that top of mind, to make sure that I can show up at the end of the day for my family. So that's great.
That's awesome. We'll have to quote that one, T. A lot of good quotes, and why you want to be safe in an organization. And I know I was talking with one of our program managers this morning, and the whole safety day that you had here. I think it took a big decision for you as a company to say, hey, we're going to basically take our entire office, or most of your office people, and we're going to take a day off, and we're going to spend half the day learning on things like fire extinguishers, harness and ladder safety, hazard comm, slip simulators. You went through that. You did a whole winter driving talk. So literally you spent almost, 2/3 of a day literally going through safety things for your people. And I love that you've continued on with that. You haven't just taken that one day, but you've instituted more things, whether it's safety meetings and things at home, because we all know 80% of the injuries happen at home. And you mentioned putting the lights up on your house. That, how many times have we heard people fall off ladders, and not good things, even to the point of, some people have died because they didn't know the proper ladder safety. So again, kudos to you for making that decision, Cameron. And I can see the difference, because I know when we first met, I could tell you didn't feel completely comfortable with it. And it was great that you have invested in it. And it was nice that we've been able to trade things out, right? That obviously barter is a great system, in the world where we can trade things. But it's great to see how you really instituted that and how it's made a difference in your organization.
Thanks. I think, you guys made it easy. I'm a busy guy running a business, trying to drive revenue, other things in mind. And so for me to just support a safe working environment and take part in it as well, but you guys are helping us drive that, and a lot of my staff are helping us drive that as well. But I fully support it, and I don't know, why you wouldn't. And it's been a help getting you guys to help us get there. I can't imagine if it was all on my shoulders. It'd be, it's more than a full-time job, as you all know.
Yeah, that's great. So speaking of safety, we got something fairly large coming up here in the next, 21
3
days.
weeks.
Crazy. It's 3 weeks from now. That's just crazy to think that we have our annual Safety and Health Conference. It's coming up February 23rd to the 26th at the Bismarck Event Center. And we're extremely grateful that not only is NewVision a sponsor, but you're an exhibitor again this year. And you help us in terms of some of the safety and security, that you're doing some stuff for our silent auction. And so we really appreciate that. And for those attendees that are going to come by your booth, what kinds of, maybe solutions or innovations will your team be showcasing this year?
Yeah, I think the big thing again is site surveillance, and what's been resonating with me is what's being said being done. If you don't have video on your job site, and you don't have video cameras around these areas, you really can't hold people accountable to knowing what's going on. So it's not always security. Sometimes it's safety. It's not always the guy coming in with a mask onto your job site. Sometimes it's holding your contractors accountable. Sometimes it's making sure the dumpster is dumped on time. Sometimes it's making sure there's not ice building up around so people aren't falling, making sure the snow was removed. So a lot of times safety can mean accountability in a lot of ways. So it's really just showing economical ways and price effective ways to get video cameras on site, whether there's power there or not. So we'll have our full surveillance trailer there that we're excited to show. The price point on those, as they were new last year, we brought it to market in North Dakota, has come down significantly, and you can get these things out on your job sites for a much better price point and be able to see what's exactly going on around your job sites or construction sites. So we're very excited to show that and really just get to see everybody again, some of our customers and potential new customers and all of you, just to get to see the excitement of the show. Looking forward to it.
I'm glad to have you back. What made you want to come back? Because last year was really your first year working with us in that capacity at conference.
Right. I think what impressed me the most was just the ability for everybody to get out of their day-to-day, out of their offices. And I think it's been known around the state of North Dakota when this conference happens, people come to it and it's pretty well attended. We all have incredibly important jobs. People have to show up to make sure the power plants are still running. And I sure appreciate my heat at home right now, especially. So we know that that's important, but they still take the time out of their day, like Chuck said earlier, to dedicate an entire day to bring their staff to learn and grow in education systems, up in the classrooms and breakout sessions, to hopefully people go back and it's on the top of their mind where they can go home a little bit safer that day and actually show up at home for their families. So it was just great to see the commitment to all the people that were there and the commitment to safety that the community has, because it is important as we have large projects in this state from energy to security and everything in between.
As a sponsor, you'll be happy to know, I think we're trending for one of the biggest years ever. I know Tia just sent some information out this weekend. So it's great to see the attendees in terms of how many people have signed up. And, for us, we'd like to think it's not only an investment in the North Dakota Safety Council as trusting that we're going to put on a great show, but it's also investing in the future of your business and safety and those things. So it's great for us to see those numbers that have been some of the highest we've ever had. So we're hoping that continues and that you'll have a lot of people that'll be coming and visiting your booth this year. So Cameron, we can't thank you enough. We appreciate you being a great guest. Is there anything else you want to add before we kind of close out? Is there any notes you want to make about your company specifically, or maybe what other things?
No, I just appreciate everything you guys are doing for the safety world out there. It sure is nice having resources like this in the state. Thanks for having me, and I'm really looking forward to being at your guys' conference. Glad to hear the numbers are up. That's exciting and a testament to your guys' leadership, everything you guys are doing at the Safety Council. So keep it up. I appreciate it. And if you need anything from me, I'm always happy to help. Thanks again.
Yeah, well, it's great learning about NewVision and hearing about how you've grown the company while keeping it safe. It's a choice you'd make as an owner of the company, and we appreciate that you're doing that as a company and you keeping your people safe and the center of everything you do. That's awesome. And taking the time with us, Cameron. Again, we want to make sure we talk about the conference because that is coming up. That's February 23rd through the 26th. So there's a lot of information on our website that Tia and the marketing staff has done a fabulous job putting things together. So go out to our website and look at registration details. It's ndsc.org. That's ndsc.org. We'd love to see you there. There's surely room in all the classes. There's over 100 sessions, breakout sessions, 3 amazing keynotes, 2 opening keynotes on the Tuesday and Wednesday, and a closing keynote that even if you just come for those, there's an opportunity to come to see the vendors and exhibitors like NewVision Security and the keynotes. There's an option if you just want to see that. We want to thank our sponsors for that event before we go. It's Chevron, Mobile Pro, Roco Rescue, WSI, Baymont, ASN Constructors, Basin Electric, Power Cooperative, Dakota Gasification Company, Bismarck Mandan CVB, Doosan Bobcat. There's a lot. I'm going to keep going. Bridger Pipeline, CHI, St. Alexis Company Care, Cord Energy, Continental Resources, Devon, MDU Resources, WBI Energy, NewVision Security Systems, Noble Inc., North American Coal, Falkirk and Freedom Mines, One Oak, Safe Start, Sanford and Health, and all kinds of more sponsors. I think there's well over 150 sponsors or somewhere in that range, I believe. But thanks for our awesome guest today, Cameron Fleck with NewVision Security. That's all for Talk Safety to Me with the North Dakota Safety Council. We'll have more episodes dropping soon. So stay connected and, more importantly, stay safe out there.
Thanks for listening to Talk Safety to Me, a podcast for the North Dakota Safety Council recorded at the Radio Access Studio in Bismarck, North Dakota. Find our podcast, safety training options, information about our annual conference, and more at ndsc.org. You also can listen to Talk Safety to Me on 102.5 FM and online at radioaccess.org.